Well, hello again and welcome to the VK60S Fun with Amateur Radio channel. Now, it's been a while since I put a video on, so I've been doing some other bits and pieces, but I thought, well, the weather's not very good this morning, so I thought I'd do a quick video. Someone asked me, I can't remember who it was, but someone asked me some time ago how efficient the FT450 was for doing portable work. Now, I thought actually that's a very good question, because I did a video comparing the efficiency of the FT857 with the efficiency of the FT817, because people use those radios for portable use, and just to see how how much more juice the FT857 is going to pull out of your battery, and it was quite a lot more. So I don't have an 817 here today, but I do have an 857. So I just thought I'd do a couple of very quick comparisons of efficiency between the two radios. Now this one here is an FT450. I bought it some time ago. It's not the D, it's not the deluxe version. So it doesn't have the illuminated knobs, doesn't have the internal ATU. I don't think there's any other significant differences. I think the performance of the two radios is very similar, if not exactly the same. With regard, the D might have slightly better CW filtering, but I'm not remotely interested in CW. I think Morse is something that grows around posh people's duck ponds. Have you seen one's Morse around one's duck pond? I really must get Jenkins to do something about that. The poor ducks can't get up the bank. Sort of thing. Right, so there's an FT450, and just for interest's sake, this is obviously designed for portable use because it does have a rather nice carry handle on this side, so you can carry it. I shouldn't have done that. It's probably got feet on the other side. Yeah, it has. It's got these little studs on the other side, so you can stand it on end and carry it around. So that's a nice feature of it. Okay, so first of all, it's on lower sideband. It's on 40 meters. So let's squelch it and let's just see what the receive current of this radio is with the receiver squelched. I've got a power meter there as well, so we can look at the output power. Now I bought this rather nice clamp meter the other day. I think it's actually probably a few months ago now, but it allows me to look at the current equipment draws without actually making a physical connection to it. So I'll just select current, which is it's going to be DC. Smallest DC range is 40 amps. Press the rel button to zero it. If those probes are picking up some noise that's bothering it. It's definitely on the DC range. Rel. There we go. That's more like it. Okay. So now, I'll put that around one of the wires. Yeah. So it's actually drawing. Let's pull the cable over here so you can see it. Can you see that? Let's get rid of that. So we can get rid of that glare. It's drawing 0.92 amps. So that's 920 milliamps. So that's 3 times as much as an 817 with that squelched. If I unsquelch it, that's an amp and a bit. It's not obviously producing any audio from any demodulated audio, but there you go. So the current draw, if you're going to use this portable, when it's just sitting there squelched on upper sideband, you're sitting on top of your hilltop, or you've taken it down the beach or whatever, you've connected it to the battery, you're having a tune around, you've turned the squelch up, you're listening on 40 meters, it's going to sit there. Oh, now it's drawing an amp. Look at that. So it's not constant. So It's not a terribly efficient radio to use for portable use. Apparently it's a lot more efficient than the new FT991, the supposedly the 857D replacement, because that the 991 draws 1.8 amps on squelch receive, which is you know, disastrous for portable work really. And apparently the 991 doesn't have really have twin VFOs, so the 897D is probably the one to grab if you're thinking of that kind of radio at the moment and you're not interested in C4 FM or whatever it's called, this Yaesu proprietary digital mode. I certainly wouldn't be interested in it. So there we go. It's about an amp of current squelched receive. Now what I could do actually, while I've got that connected to it, I think I'll change the mode to FM. It's connected to a dummy load so as not to upset anybody on 40 metres. RF power. It's on 50 watts. I'll just make that I'll make that 100 watts. And change the mode. Where's the mode? Let's change the mode to FM. I suppose it'll produce FM on 40 metres. The site's connected to a dummy load, so no one out there needs to get uncomfortable around their nether regions. Alright, now let's just give it a PTT. Let's give it a PTT and see what the current draw is. Well, that's not bad. According to that, 10, you can see that. So it's pretty efficient on transmit. That's 100 watts FM, 10.3 amps. So, you know, putting in 138 watts and getting out 100 watts. Good heavens, that sounds a bit too good to be true. Let's just have a look at the power meter. Now this is not an industry standard thing, this is just a Revex W510. So I'll put it on the 200 watt range, put it on power forward. Okay, that's why. Hang on, is it drawing? Yeah, so it's drawing 10 amps, but it's not transmitting anything. So it's saying it can't see. Oh. Always a good idea. It's a good job these modern radios have got ISWR protection on them, isn't it? It's might be a good idea to actually connect it to the power meter. Okay, so now it's probably going to draw a bit more than 10 amps. I thought it was a bit too good to be true. Now, as I've said many times before, this is amateur radio. Okay, so at the moment it's showing just the receive current, about an amp. Now we can hear the fan come up. 14.3 amps. That's still not bad. 14.3 amps. And what's the power meter saying? The power meter is saying, well, I prefer to use a bird through line for this, but it's saying about 90 watts output. So 90 watts output, that's on FM on 40 meters, so it's into a dummy load. And there we go, that's 14.24 amps. That's drawing there. So that's what it's going to draw on the voice peaks with your upper sideband, lower sideband rather. I'll just you can tell how much HF operating I do, can't you? Okay, so there's lower sideband. I'll just whistle into the mic. I'll try and get it away from the camera mic actually. There you go. There's the 14. There's the 14 amps we saw when it was in FM mode, because that's the peak power the radio is going to produce. Actually, I might do another video. I'll dig the scope out and just have a look at the AM waveform on these Yaesu radios. There's been a lot of complaints about the AM on the newer ones, and I did a video about the AM performance of the 857, I think it was, and it was a little bit on the low side. It wasn't terribly incremental, the modulation, if I remember right, but it wasn't downward, which is what a lot of people are complaining about with the new 991s. Okay, so it's reasonably that's not a bad radio really, as far as efficiency goes. It's got 3 times the received current of an FT817. Received current compared to the 857 is probably pretty similar. The 857 received current, actually I'll connect the 857 up in a minute and do a comparison. But the 857 draws about between 6 and I think it was 800 or 900 milliamps on receive when it was squelched. It wasn't constant. I don't quite know why that was. So when I first tried it, it said 600 milliamps, and then I tried it again and it was, pardon me, it was 800 milliamps. So I thought, well, that's a bit peculiar because it's squelched. You know, it's not producing any audio. Where's the extra current going? But I've seen other things on the internet where people have made the comment that they've measured the current drawn by the 857 on squelch receive, and it varies between 600 and 800 milliamps. So it's obviously not just my radio. Now I've got a little power supply running the 450 at the moment, which is set to 13.8 volts output, not 12. So while it's actually connected, I think I might just reduce that to 12 volts and see what the difference is. Because, you know, if you're operating from a battery, portable, there may be a difference. So I'm just getting those probes. Sorry about this. Talk amongst yourselves. Get yourself some popcorn. Going in for time. This will only run for 20 minutes. Okay, it's 11 minutes. So if I put that round to volts and then measure the power supply. It's 13.8. And I'll wind that down to 12. Being a cheap adjustable power supply at 12.08, that's close enough. Okay, so that's now 12 volts. So let's just see what the received current is, whether that's changed, the squelch received current. DC. Actually, let's just zero that. There we go. So you can see that's zero. Right. Now how much current is it drawing? Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it? You know, it's 0.9, 0.93, 0.94, so it's 940 milliamps, 940 milliamps, so it's still best part of an amp. It's made a slight difference, a very slight improvement on the squelched current drawn, but it's not significant really. See if there's any difference on the power meter. To go back to FM. God, getting old, mate. I wonder if you could hear those knees clicking. Go on the power meter, and yeah, I can't honestly see a difference there. It's on this. It's on this. See if I can get rid of that glare. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, it's the bottom range is the 200 watt range, so the one right at the very bottom there, it's just below the 100, and that's exactly where it was when I was running it from 13.8 volts. So that doesn't seem to, so the voltage, whether you're running it in your car, in your shack on a 13.8 volt supply, or whether you're running it on a battery out portable, doesn't seem to make any difference to the output power at all, which is really really quite good. So okay, well that's the FT450. Remember, that's not the D version, that's the FT450. There's my hand for a size comparison. It's got a nice big display. It's ideal for old codgers like myself that want to go and do a bit of portable stuff out in the bush. You don't have to strain to see the display. It's very simple to operate this radio. As you probably saw, you press the function button, hold it, RF power. If I want to change that menu selection, just that knob there. When you get to the one you're interested in, you just press it, and then you can just adjust it, and it's as simple as that. So, you know, anyone can get familiar with this radio very, very quickly, get themselves on the air, you know, out in the bush, on a hill, and be having fun in no time at all. Okay, well, I'll do a very, very quick comparison with the 857. All these blooming adapters on the 857. And I'll do exactly the same thing. So the power lead for the 857 is there. I'll just quickly nip round the back of the table and swap them over on the power supply. Now, I was out bush very well just a few months ago with the 817. I've heard people say, you know, why would you bother with an 817 because the output power is so low. But used an ATU to match it with about 230 metres of wire and got a 9+++ signal from 600 kilometres away. So, you know, they're not a toy. If you know what you're doing with them, you can get very good results with an 817. Even though it's only 5 watts output. Okay, so now bear in mind the power supply is at the moment set to 12 volts. Okay, so I can show you that on the 857 display. You can probably see in the top right hand corner it's showing 12.1 volts. Hope you can see that. So I'll just put it on. I use exactly the same parameters. So 7093, lower sideband. So I put it on 7093. Talk amongst yourselves, won't be a tick. I'll be less than one blinking jiffy, there we go. Right. 7093. It's on lower sideband at the moment, which would be the correct mode for 40 metres. So there's the squelch. 857's got a smaller speaker in it, of course. So there's squelch received, lower sideband on 7093. I'll just see what the current drawn is. Zero that meter. I don't know why that it takes a couple of attempts to zero it, but never mind. Zeroed it is. Okie dokie. So I'll put that on there. There we go. You can see the squelched current drawn by the 857, 600 milliamps, 590 milliamps. Now the peculiar thing is, and this seems to happen with every time, I'll unsquelch it. And then squelch it again. And it can sometimes go up to 800 or 900 milliamps, but on this occasion it hasn't. It's making a liar of me. So as it is at the moment, under exactly the same conditions as the FT450, which is a 12 volt supply, remember, not 13.8, It's on 40 meters. It's on lower sideband, and the squelched receive current is 590 milliamps. Now that's about twice what the FT817 is. So the FT